Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
A very good morning to all. A very good morning to all. I welcome all of you for the international workshop in soft skills organized by our PG Department of English, Rajapalayam Rajus College. I welcome you all. At the outset, I welcome our college secretary, principal, and vice principal for the program. Now I welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Edwin Javaraj, Associate Professor in English, Chris Christ Deemed to be University, Bangalore. I welcome you, sir. Finally, I request Ms. C. Vidya, Assistant Professor, to introduce the resource person to all the participants.
Good morning to all the participants. I feel proud to introduce the resource person of this one-day international workshop on soft skills. The resource person of this program is Dr. Edwin Jeevaraj. He completed his MA and MPhil degree in English in PHNSN College, Virudhunagar, Tamil Nadu. He completed his PhD degree at Anna University, Chennai. He has done his PhD on autobiographies of APJ Abdul Kalam. He has more than 15 years of teaching experience. His areas of interest are language, literature, Indian writing in English, and autobiographical narratives. He has published many articles in the referred national and international journals and also in book chapters. At present, he is working as an associate professor in English in Christ University, Bangalore. On behalf of the department, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And I hand over the session to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. And I think we can start the session now. Before I start the session, I would like to register my thanks to yeah. So I would like to officially register my thanks to. So in the meantime, shall I ask people to please mute your mic? May I request you to mute your mic so that we can run the show without any problem. Am I audible? Am I audible? You can type in the chat box if I'm audible. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, at the outset, I would like to register my thanks to Rajapalayam Rajus College, the management of Rajapalayam Rajus College, particularly. I would like to register my thanks to Sri P.R. Vijay Raghavan, Secretary College Governing Council, Dr. R. Jagannath, Principal in charge, Professor T. Mardanayakam, Head of the Department of English, and Dr. Muruganandam, the convener of this international workshop on soft skills, and Ms. Murugeshwari and P.V. Deepa, the organizing secretaries, for their great initiation of this one-day international workshop on soft skills. I also convey my regards to Mr. K. B. Radhakrishnan, a lecturer in Shyam Vocational College, Shyam, Oman. Without much ado, I would like to start this session. Wait a minute, I'll share my slides with you people. Is my slides visible to you? My slides visible to you? Excuse me. Yeah, thank you. 1 minute. Yeah, I think it's visible to you. And the problem here is that I cannot see the chat box for your questions. So I will request you to post your questions in the chat box. So I may sometimes request the organizers to check the questions, and again you can ask the questions in the end of the session. If any technical difficulty if you face, please bear it, and we will reconnect it, and we hope that we will run the session successfully. And so we are going to talk about the soft skills. Actually, it is mentioned there. It is a international workshop on soft skills, but the time which is provided to us, it's very limited. So I mean, conducting a workshop to a large number of people in this forum and giving them some kind of work and hands-on training virtually and evaluating them will be a task for us. But I think that may be an impossible task as of now, probably. And again, let it be an initiative session on a discussion of soft skills for the career development. So this 45 minutes, I'm going to talk about the soft skills that I have learned through my life. And again, some of the soft skills that I have studied, that I will talk about all those soft skills here. And probably I cannot cover all the soft skills and the importance and how it is playing a major role in every single person's life. We cannot cover. So I will be limiting my presentation with certain topics, and kindly bear that we could not, if we couldn't cover all the topics related with soft skills. Because of the time concern, I will be sometimes rushing up my points. Please bear with me too. And I also wish and again express my gratitude for those who you have registered for this one-day international workshop on soft skills and for career development and personal development. So UGC. It insisted all the organizations, particularly educational institutions, to train the students the essential professional soft skills such as teamwork, communication skills, leadership skills, time management skills, so that the students will sometimes inculcate the human values and professional ethics and the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship and critical thinking. So this is a requirement of the UGC, and UGC advised all the educational institutions to follow that. And in that case, I will appreciate the Rajus College for initiating such a wonderful workshop on soft skills. And they are the great evidence that like even the lockdown period, and they felt that like they can give something to their people on soft skills. And it may not be an exclusive discussion on soft skills, but at the same time, like it is also insisting the people or the society to think about the soft skills. Means like we are going to enter into a new world after the COVID-19, and the new sometimes like the new world may expect us to equip the soft skills, or else like to have an understanding of the different dimension the soft skill is going to take place in the future. So it's a very good initiation from Rajus College to initiate a workshop on soft skills, or to make the people to be aware of the soft skills, and again to think about the soft skills and what dimension it will take in future too. Thank you, Rajus College, for this great initiation. Now I will start my session with this particular quote from the poem by Bob Aycock. So he in the poem, calling him back from layoff, talks about the problem that most of us are facing in the present situation. Actually, like there was a discussion. The poem was in a dialogue mode where he was explaining about the emotions shared by the employer and the employee. And the employer, he called the employee who was laid down back to the work. So what was the emotion he is capturing from the employer's side? It was a long expectation from the employee side that I was laid down from a job, when the company is going to call me back, and how I'm going to survive throughout the period where I am jobless. So that kind of emotions were going in deep of the heart of the person, and he was expecting a call from the employer. So one fine day, the employer called the employee and says that, okay, you can come and join back to the job. So, and what was the emotion he told? Actually, like it's not a one-to-one conversation. It is a conversation taken place over a phone. The employer called the person over phone, and he says that you can come and join so-and-so date to the job. So now this person, he was not able to control his joy that he has been suppressing for a long time. This is a long time, longing of the person. So how did he express his emotion? Only through breath. I mean, the awesome part of the poem is that it is trying to trace the emotions of an employee who was in the laid off condition and who was called for the job, only through the breath that he is revealing from the heart. And that breath is captured, and that was given a meaning, and that conveys a lots of emotions that he has inside his heart about the condition. But on the other side, when the employer just like kept the phone, then he was thinking about the other people. So that is where he was uttering these 4 points. And if give a job to the one stomach, other folks are naked. And if tonight a steak sizzles in his kitchen, do the 7 other people starting at their phones here? So he clearly says that, yeah, I'm so happy to call one person back, but there are 8 people, they were sent from the job. And the layoff condition is insisting me to call only one. And yes, I'm happy that I can feed that one. And I can somewhat satisfy the longing of the one person. And what about the 7 people? And they are out of hungry now, and they will be looking at their phone, and they will be expecting the office to call them back when it is going to take in place. So it's completely capture one side of the employer. So the employer are authoritative, but the condition they are undergoing now is making them to feel a lot, to worry a lot for those who were not called for. So this is the picture that Bob Hickok is just like drawing through the simple poem. Particularly, it is focused on the employer side, not the other side. Now, you look at this particular work, and it is happening at present, and we are evident to this particular act happening at present. See, a person who is preparing the so-called snacks called murukku was a head of the department in the computer science department. And look at the time, how it forced him or pushed him down to go for doing some other mean job in order for his livelihood will go on. So this is also another phase of, this picture is also just like what you call bringing as the trauma or dilemma or the confusion or the problem or the suffering of a person whose hand at one particular time was operating the computer, whose knowledge was teaching to the students the computer designing and so many things. It has been promoting a lot of students to learn the computer techniques, and it also he also made so many works so that the students can be promoted to be well friendly with the technological utilization. That has created lots of opportunity for the students. Now, what is the condition for the person who has worked throughout his life for creating a future generation, for creating opportunity for the future generation? Now it was different. We are undergoing such a kind of situation in this present. So this particular picture is representing the dilemma or the trauma of the people who have been laid off during the particularly COVID-19 period. And every some 20 years or 30 years, we have to undergo this kind of struggle. And it's not only applicable for Tamil Nadu. And I have taken one moment from Tamil Nadu. And this is a case with so many states of India and so many nations of the world too. And there are a particular group of people, maybe they are the negotiated people, and again the number is more, and how the world is going to feed them with what they want. So if you imagine that, like what kind of situation we are in, then we have to. But at the same time, there is a saying in Tamil that iduvum kadandu pogum. So that particular saying mentions that the time will go. So though it may be a time of suffering, and though it may be a time of dilemma, though it may be a time that is attacking our hope and faith in the future, we should not leave our hope for the future. Yesterday, there is a video by Sundar Pichai, Google's CEO, is going throughout the social website now. I can give you the link in the end of the session. You can watch it. So he was addressing the graduates of the 2020. So, he just like what you call, it's a kind of motivation, and he gives a lots of scope for the future. He was talking about the same condition prevailed in the year 1920, and the same condition prevailed in 1950s, and the same condition prevailed in the 1911. So he was, bringing all the historical moments and what the historical moment or the war or the natural change has created a great impact on the graduates. He was capturing all those things, but in the end, he gives a hope for the future generation. He was telling that no need to worry about anything, because I am also at one particular time, and he also just bringing some kind of personal sharing in that particular video. He says that I was at one particular time. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, he says that at one particular time I was not that much accustomed to the technology, and even I don't get access to the mobile. And when I came to 10th standard, I was given a mobile to operate. And that was the basic modern mobile. And later he shifted his life from various places of India as well as to the foreign, particularly California. And the computer that the present generation is using nowadays, and the facility that the present generation using nowadays is not at all has a connection with him when he was studying. But now he has created a forum where the total world is depending upon him, or depending upon the Google Chrome. That it may be an innovation by Sundar Pichai, right? So he also give us scope for or hope for the current generation people who are thinking about their future, that you have a future, don't worry. The future may be a little bit like innovative, and you will be having access to lots of new things in the new world. So with that hope, we will see this particular work. See, many employers and placements professionals say that students passing out from colleges and schools are not employable because they lack employable skills. Dr. Dhanavelu. So now it states that who are produced by the educational institutions. Are we, as teachers, I'll ask question, are we preparing the students for the future career? Are we trying to give them some knowledge beyond the expectation, or are we limited ourselves to the curriculum that we are teaching? So curriculum, when you think about curriculum, then today's curriculum will be outdated within 10 years. And we cannot say 10 years, even within 2 years or 3 years at the present condition will be outdated. So what are we going to teach them? The skills that is permanently required for their future, we need to think of. And that is where Dr. Dhanavelu was telling that through his book, we need to think about feeding or not feeding, instilling the soft skills, and that is life skills for the students here and there. And we should think about, like, whatever we teach, we need to think about what is the employment opportunity that the student will get through my teaching. So as teachers, we should not only concentrate on teaching the curriculum or the syllabi, anything, but we need to go beyond. Yeah, I would like to share a small one of my experience here. So we are talking about the physical border. We are talking about the social distancing now, and even people are not able to connect it with their own family members. So the brother is in one place and the another brother is in another place. Your family members are spread across, and they are not able to come back to one place, and they are not able to celebrate the joy of relationship. And even inside one village, people are not able to meet one another. There was a physical border created by the COVID-19. And when I say that, like, my mother was with me for 5 months in Bangalore, and she was at one particular time, she was not able to adopt the climate here. Here it was raining. It was so cold, and being aged, she was not able to accommodate the climate. And she felt that she has to go to my native place, which is Madurai. And the problem is that when I apply for e-pass, I was not able to get an e-pass. So we tried a lot, but we are not able to. And later, my brother from Madurai, he applied an e-pass and he came to Bangalore. But he was stopped in the Osur border. We call that place as Atipalli, and where he was stopped, and he was asked to generate one more e-pass, or else he will not be allowed allowed to enter into the Bangalore border. So later he called me, and again we have taken my mother in a car till that border. And later we talked with the people, and we crossed the border. That one small border, the physical border, which has created lots of trauma in us. And we lost our hope that whether my mother will go to a native or not, because that's what her longing. At last, we managed the situation. And see, this is also, I will say that, a small kind of problem that the physical border created as of now. And the physical border is not only between the state to state, it is between village to village, district to district, state to state, nation to nation. We know the tension which prevails in the border of the village, in the border of the districts, in the border of the state, in the border of the nation. And so, will this physical border created by the situation be a barrier for the learning? That's a question that we need to think of. Sir, we are talking about the soft skills and where we will be learning all the soft skills. Now, though the world or though the COVID-19 has created a physical border, it is also uplifted or unlocked a virtual border in the world. So there is no border for learning in the current scenario, right? So I don't have any issue in attending a webinar which is conducted by the Cambridge University in London. So I can travel through, till London, and I can also utilize the skills of the London expert. I can learn a lot. And I don't have any issue in attending a webinar which is organized by the British Council, which is from London. I have no issues. There is no border at all. And you also, will you know that a person, an expert from Oman is now come and is going to come and he's going to present, he's going to address us. And there is no border for us. Excuse me, there is a power shutdown here. So I will, wait a minute. Yeah, bear me because there is no power here. So I have to switch off my camera here. Right. So yes. So the border, the virtual border through the world is raised for us, right? Now, talking about the soft skills, right? The National Business Education Association, it is insisting us that the 21st century, people have to relook the soft skills. And what are the soft skills they have? And again, what dimensions the soft skills will take place in future that we need to relook. So why he has told that? Hello? Am I audible? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, in the current scenario, even for an entry-level job, it requires candidates with more skills. They not only expect the candidate to complete the qualification. The qualification does matter at the same time. Beyond the qualification, what are the skills set the candidate possesses? Now, the company, the organization, they started to think because they want a candidate who can promote their organization to the next level. So they need potential employees with required soft skills. Now, Glenn was of the opinion that hiring individuals who possess soft skills is instrumental for high-performing organization to retain the competitive edge. We know that there was a big rat race is going on outside the world in the name of business. So all the business, they are thinking about their survival and sustenance in the business world. They don't want to be thrown out of the business world because of the lack of skills. So now they're expecting not only the candidate with qualification, but the candidate with high professional soft skills too. And that is where we can come to a conclusion that the right mix of skills can make a real difference to the bottom line in the business. So we should think about that. Are we having the right mix of soft skills as well as hard skills in us so that we can fly off? So now, if you ask the question, what are the soft skills we have? We have a lot, and we cannot discuss all these soft skills in one go. Probably I may concentrate one or two skills here, and I may give you some important points related to the presentation, writing skills, because I belong to that language part. I teach language to the students, so I may have some kind of exposure in teaching what is presentation skills and what is writing skills, and particularly some skills which is related to the what do you call emotional intelligence too. See, these many skills we have. One minute, the suppliers come, and I'll switch on the camera now. Thank you. The organizer could remind me when my time gets over so that I will stop. Yeah. See, the first quality that we require again. The problem here we have is supply. Okay, bear with me. This. Okay. So we have adaptability. Do we have the adaptable skills with us? And I mean, am I having the notion of, I mean, somebody told that it is impossible to say. I may have a notion, or I may have a attitude that I will make it the impossible possible. Am I good at communication? Am I good at explaining what I think, what I feel, what I ideate without any complexity in my language? And how I am handling my own emotion and the emotion of others. What is my reaction to something which is hurting me, something which stands against me? How I'm handling my own emotions. And there are lots of people, they will work against you. Then when you're going among those people, how you're going to handle their emotions. And being a leader, sometimes, like, you know, you have to think about different kinds of people, and you need to deal with the emotions of the people rather than their intellectuality. And as an employee, have you understood the ambiguity which is standing in front of you? I have lots of confusion what I have to do. I have lots of confusion in my roles and responsibility because my boss didn't explain the roles and responsibility clearly to me. And they just give new work to me, and again, they don't guide me properly, but I have to do the work. I have lots of questions, and I have a question that whether I can ask the question to my boss or to my subordinate, and will it create any problem? I'm thinking a lot when I'm going to do a job. So there are ambiguity, there are complexity, even when you're going to take up a new role or new job. So am I trying to understand the ambiguity which is there in my roles that I'm going to take new? If you have understood, actually, like, you're going ahead. And what are the business ethics that I'm following in my behavior, in my attitude, in my conversation, in my action, and so many things? Am I conscious about some of the business ethics, and am I consciously adopting all those ethics when I mingle with the other? And am I very good at in working in a team where you get lots of people? You get people from various background, various religion, various nation, various states, various culture, and various potentiality, various physical difficulty, and so many various are there. Am I able to fit into a group of people, and am I able to give my best even among the kind of variety with whom I'm working? And what is my interpersonal skills? How I'm very good at connecting with others. How how I am good in immediately having a relationship, building a good relationship, professional relationship with others, or am I having keeping myself alone always, and I have a habit of keeping myself lonely, aloof, alienated kind of, and I don't want to mingle with others, but I want other people to mingle with. So what kind of interpersonal skills I have? Am I ready to collaborate with anybody in order to achieve a greater cause? And the freedom is because of the collaboration of all the Indian leaders and the people who join their hands with them. Am I ready to collaborate with somebody, or else am I going to be strict on my discipline alone? I'm from English. I cannot mingle with anybody. I am from computer science. I cannot mingle with anybody. So do we have the habit of that attitude, or else it's something different? And we also have to ask a question like, do I have any innovative thought? And do I have any creative skills? Am I finding some kind of forum where I can exhibit my innovative as well as creative forum, though there are lots of suppressions comes against me? And am I growing along with the skill of computation? Am I able to adopt the technology for my life's sake? So these questions that we need to keep in your mind. And again, what about your worth? Am I worth? And how I'm going to maintain my own self-esteem in the place where I'm working? And am I having the attitude of thinking about the problem and the solution to the problem? Probably this is where I would ask you to stress more. There are people, they always think about others and they are envy about others. What are they doing? What they have, what this achievement they have done in their life. And we are most of the time thinking about others, but we have lots of problem which is situated around us. What are the problems we take, and we are analyzing it and we are trying to find out the solution for that. So these are all the basic skills that, this is limited. It is, you have lots of soft skills you have, and again, few I have collected, and I just give it in the forum for your thinking and again, your exploration on this particular part. So I'm not going to deal with all these soft skills. Instead, I'm going to concentrate one or two based on the time which is given to me. So starting with the particular point, adaptability. I have read a story called Once Upon an Indian Potluck by B.A. Krishna. So here he was reflecting his idea about managers, his idea about the education institution, the education they are giving, and the idea about his own idea about the strategies that you can play when you are called for an interview where the discussion on hike of your salary happens, and so on and so forth. And he was also talking about the world, a group of people, and they have gathered there. It's a party kind of things. And again, he was capturing the characteristics of the people, particularly the people maybe belong to the IT sectors. And he was also talking about the disparity or the division which is taken place among the IT people, and what was the impact it is going to create in the society too. So though he was talking about all those things, we have to think about this particular concept. And just when you have finished training them, they often get promoted probably into a realm where they can only do minimal damage. So you end up with another that needs to be trained all over again. He was talking about the managers, and he was talking about the people who are giving training to the managers. So two aspects are there. The first thing is that they are giving training to the people so that they can do minimal damage to the resources of the organization. So the point here that we have to keep in our mind is that we have to take up roles and we have to create minimal damage rather than causing a huge damage to the organization. We have to be very careful about the resources of the organization when we are going to use it. But my point here is not that. My point is the people who are all training. See, the trainers of the managers, they keep on training the managers. They are promoting the managers to the next level. They see the people whom they have given training, they are promoted to the next level. Then what is their level? They remain in the same because of their redundant work, because of their repetitive work, because of their lack of future thinking and their lack of adaptability for the future. That's a problem with so many of us. We are provided with certain skill set, but we are satisfied with the skill set utilizing for a proper audience. That's all. We want to do the work again and again, the same. And we are very, very, reluctant in thinking about the next. That is where the problem. So the problem is that we need to see the people promoted in front of us who are taught by, who may be trained by us. So that is the condition we are living in because of saying no to the new learning, because of saying no to the quality called adaptability. If it is there, it is a must for us to equip with the new skills. Many a time, at one particular time, I was thinking about when the subjects that I taught, I was teaching one grammar course again and again. If any course was given to me, I was reluctant to take it because I was afraid of preparing for the course. But later, I was put into one particular forum where I was given new subjects that I need to read. Now I could understand what is the change that I have taken, that what is the change that is taken in my heart. And I'm ready to take challenges now because I understand what is the quality that will shape the inner person because you are ready to adapt something. So change yourself and you change the earth. So Mahatma Gandhi's, it may sometimes connected with Mahatma Gandhi's speech. And I was also thinking about P.S. Kumaraswamy Raja, what change he has made in Rajapalayam, when I was reading the history of Kumaraswamy Raja, and he is the one, a key person in bringing the industrial changes in the city of southern Tamil Nadu. Right. So he not only changed himself to adapt the impact of industrialization throughout the world, but at the same time, he also trying to just change the society with which he is connected to adopt the industrial, revolution in his place. So are we in a position to adopt the changes that the time is going to bring from time to time? So the time changes and be with time. When we have the notion of changing along with the time, then you can expect the unexpected happens in your life. So, the Tim, he told that individuals who are willing to adapt will be highly sought after. So if you're ready to adopt the future, if you're ready to adopt the changes, then you're highly sought after in the work forum or in the entrepreneurial forum or whatever it may be. I also would like to highlight some of the soft skills that Abdul Kalam, former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is dealing with in his book Wings of Fire and Autobiography. So what are the soft skills that he's highlighting here? Before that, I would like to say that the two wings you see here, one wing is the hard skills that you have, the another wing is the soft skills you have. If you have balance in both the wings, then only you can fly, or else it's very, very hard for us to fly to the sky. We want to fly to the sky, but we need to know that there should be a balance of the hard skills and the soft skills. Suppose you are very good at soft skills, but you don't have hard skills, the technical skills, then automatically your one wing is broken. you cannot fly. And if you have hard skills, very good, but you lack the soft skills, then the same way. But these two skills are spirited by the will you have. See the line, we don't walk on our leg, but on our will. We have lots of evidences for this particular one. Because of the willpower, people are surviving in the world a lot. And you imagine about the societal structure, what kind of enforcement is kept on the people of next, and what kind of willpower they have, and with that willpower they are emerging like phoenix in their life. So it's not only having two skills, but you need to have a will to move forward, to fly high. And that is where Abdul Kalam was talking about the 5 soft skills that he has experienced and he has explored, and he attained the success in his life. A person from Rameshwaram, a Tamil medium school, and a person sitting in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. And how did the travel happen? And what are the performance, dimensions that he has taken? And what are the soft skills that he has in his life that promoted him to the larger level of position that an ordinary person cannot attain? So he was telling that performance degraders, performance dimensions, communication, total commitment, and flow are the major soft skills that promoted his life to attain the success at larger level. What was his the condition when he was attending an interview or in the Air Force? He was thrown out of the interview and because that he was lacking the communication skills. But at one particular time, he became the rocket scientist, and he was the boss for the commanding wing, and he went to Siachen, and he could understand what is that made a big change in his life. It's not only his hard skills, but also the soft skills that he has towards his life. And he particularly mentions about the performance degraders. You should know about what are all degrading your business, what are all degrading our skills, what are all degrading our performances. There are so many. And I myself become a degrader to my performance, my confusions, my lack of skill, my lack of confidence, and my negativity, my what do you call? I just discourage myself. There are so many places I have a doubt that whether I can do it or not. And that many a time didn't allow me to take the future step or further step. I was thinking about the future as an abstract, and my survival is a question mark. And because of that, I discourage myself. So how did I become a performance degrader to my life? And how I am going to take those degraders positively, and I'm going to move forward. We need to keep in our mind. And you have the other two. You have your colleagues, your society, and you have your own friends. You have relations. We cannot say all the people will motivate you to the next level. And the man's mentality is filled with lots of ego. And it is not going to push you up, rather it is going to push you down. So when they are coming with lots of strategy or lots of plots to push you down, how are you going to overcome? So take the performance degraders positively and you try to move forward. Let them think about your lot. Let them talk about your lot. Let them plot about your lot. Don't worry about all those things. You just keep some future for your life and keep moving. So nothing will worry. See, when you have that attitude, then you see your life moving and their life is stagnant because they are thinking about your lot. So dealing with this performance degraders itself a big challenge for us, right? And when you deal with the performance degraders properly, purposively, and positively, you have the dimensions, lots of dimensions you have. We have lots of dimensions in us that start evolving. So that may sometimes uh, uh, promote you in various ways, and people will know who are you actually, what are all your dimensions that is evolved because of the suppression that are brought by the performance degraders, and you looked at the performance degraders in a positive way, right? So keep these 2 points in your mind, and I will suggest that dealing with the performance degraders and dealing with and trying to bring the dimension, the self's dimension or your dimension to the world is the major purpose. Maybe the major soft skills that we need to focus in the present situation. I will be talking about communication skills hereafter. So a few points I will give you. I don't know how much time that I have as of now, but anyway, I'll try to complete in time so that I can give you some time for the question and answer session too. So see that this is also another poem you will be hearing from us shortly. It was by Fanthrop, a poetess, I have to say. And she was talking about an interview happening, and the interviewer interviewing a woman, right? And the interviewer asked questions related to the knowledge and the person appearance, accent, particularly communication, and some questions related to the educational background, and some questions related to the domestic relation, whether she's a housewife or not. So all these questions are prepared and was asked to make the girl to be inferior, to feel inferior in the interview. And when sometimes the organization is going to give a job to the candidate will feel that it is the grace grace of the organization that she gets a job. So that kind of feeling, the interview will sometimes create. But here, my point here is that the accent, I'm taking the word accent here. It's completely related with communication skills. So the importance that communication plays in the interview, wherever you go, as a teacher, you would like to go for an interview in some places. The first skill which is prioritized there is communication skills. Are you good at explaining yourself can you use a good language to explain yourself? And how good are you're dealing with the situation with the language, the gift, right? So our communication skill is evaluated more when it is coming for interview. So Haggart is of the opinion that 94% of the respondents they agreed that oral communication skill is important, and nearly 89% of the people they agreed that written communication skill these both are crucial skills for employees, right? And we know that how good we are in presentation, how good we are in written skills also. Lemon and Dufresne, they were of the opinion that communication skills are important to all 21st century job applicants. So we are in the 21st century and we are moving along with the 21st century. And what the world is expecting is that we need to hold a command over our communication. So you may ask the question, and that is the first preference of the recruiters also. You have to say that am I a good listener? And again, am I able to distinguish what I'm listening? Distinguish the aesthetic listening, comprehensive listening, and critical listening, and where I have to be critical, and which listening I have to be comprehensive, which listening I have to be aesthetic. Am I able to do it? Am I doing that? And am I good at speaking, and particularly reflecting the complex ideas that is going in and around my mind without any problem in the language? And language, I will not allow the language what I'm using be an ambiguous one to the listener. Am I good at reading and culling out the essence of the paragraph that I'm reading fastly? Am I good at writing? Writing proposals, writing project reports, writing dissertations, writing emails, Or else, am I afraid of writing a single paragraph? When as an assignment of writing a paragraph given to me, am I afraid of that I will commit lots of grammatical errors in my writings? We have to think of, and and we should not stop ourselves just thinking about that. Instead, we have to think that how I'm going to improve all these skills. Yeah. So how many minutes I have, sir? So we know how many minutes I have? Okay, within 5 minutes I'll finish. Yes, sir. So, and apart from that, I'm good at presenting my thoughts. And particularly, I'm very good at analyzing my audience and change myself according to the audience expectation. Am I good at organizing my thoughts? Am I good at collection of the points? When I'm collecting the points, am I good at evaluating the authenticity of the information and the fake information? Am I able to put forth all the information into an organized way? And am I good at articulating all the points that I have collected and organized through my presentation? And when I'm attending a meeting, am I good at listening to the points which is discussed in detail? And am I able to take part in the meeting? And can I give some suggestion that is going inside my heart in the meeting? And or else am I keeping my hand on my neck and holding my voice so that the point that I have in my mind or the point which is urging my mind will not come out? And am I good at writing reports, which is a basic and necessary skills required for the present generation? And your promotion is based on that. And it is a way through which you can earn a lot. You can build your own career in the broader level. Am I good at presenting and explaining, clarifying the doubts? Or else I'm afraid of standing in front of the people and talking and standing in front of the people to receive the question from them? Am I good at expressing my feelings? And am I good at not committing any grammatical error in my language, but even in my speaking as well as in my writing? You have to think of. And this is something about the presentation. I have talked a little bit about the presentation, but when you're going to do the presentation, have an idea about this particular scope. So, you have to introduce the company, and you need to, in the introduction part, whom you're going to introduce, when you're going to introduce, what you're going to say in order to highlight the company. And again, what are you going to do in order to convince the audience, and how you're going to say that you are an authorized person to talk about the particular topic, and how are you going to present the essential points, and where you're going to give a break, and when are you going to use the demonstration, and how you're going to face the question, and whether you have thought about the question and answer or not. All those things you can think about. And you also, sometimes if you don't follow a clear-cut scope for your presentation, then what are you going to face in your presentation means that you need to rush through your points, as I'm doing now, because I'm not aware of the time that I've been concentrating, explaining each point. So what happens in the end, I'm rushing through the points and I'm skipping the points. Sometimes I may steal the time of others. And again, sometimes if I'm going to complete my presentation before the time, what is going to happen? And it's a critical time for me to stand in front of the people as a mute one. So keep this particular point in your mind. And again, when it is coming for writing, I skip up the point, and you need to have that particular skill, according to Christopher, the ability to write clearly, to critique, evaluate, synthesize information is essential for success. You need to keep it in your mind, get it right. So don't commit any grammatical mistake. So when you're going to write, particularly, sometimes you may write your project, you may write your dissertation, you may write your PhD thesis, or you may write means like anything. The body you have to elaborate. So what are the strategies that we need to adopt in elaborating the bodies? So earlier in the top, you can see that the various dimensions that writing has taken. Earlier, the writing was on the palm leaf, and later it become because of the invention of the printer, people started to use the printing paper, and later it became formal letter, from letter to email, and email to WhatsApp. Now, so many organizations, they have two WhatsApp group, one official, one is unofficial. So now the informal become taking like a kind of what they call the formal shape. So we need to work with that. We need to adapt those evolution also. And these are all various strategies that you can expand, because people, they have a worry about how to expand their paragraph. I've given the techniques for expanding your paragraph: illustration, comparison, and contrast. Illustration, give example, you explain it. And sometimes you find out some similarities, you compare and contrast, you adopt that idea, and you give the cause first, and you give the effect, and you expand a paragraph. And when you have a total idea about a paragraph, then you classify them. According to me, the writing is classified: one, formal writing, informal writing, kind of. And you can also adapt a method called problem and solution method. You give the problem first, solution next, a paragraph is over. And you also have the writing called illocutionary. Illocutionary means you use the language that sometimes make you be friendly. When you are going to be write for the public forum, then you need to use this style, illocutionary. And you can also sometimes use the language related with emotive and expository, descriptive, narrative, so on, so forth. And in writing a paragraph, you can sometimes combine any styles, one or two, but see that is apt for you. And people who are all working on the proofreading, particularly the content editing, you should be familiar with the symbols of proofreading, and be familiar with the symbols. And you have the symbols, their meaning, and again, how to do proofreading. And there are lots of material available in the online. You can go ahead with that. I would like to talk this particular point, and you need to be ready with the team. And the team, India is having the cool Captain Dhoni and aggressive Yuvraj, and you have lots of emotion mixed with. So the team is the mixture of all emotions, mixture of varieties of skills, mixture of varieties of exposure, but all should be focused towards one goal. That's what we call as a team, so that your team become champions. And one particular point you need to keep in mind when you're going to work with the team, there are certain ethics we need to follow. We should not work behind your own teammate. You have to be frank with the people. You should not have any hidden agenda to pull your own teammates down. No, that's not a good ethic that we need to follow. There are lots of things to discuss on this team building. We'll discuss sometimes if you get time. So I would like to close my session with this particular words. Yahavarayanam, Nahaka, Kavakal, Sohapa, Solilukapattu. It's a famous Tirukkural by a famous Tamil poet, Thiruvalluvar. It talks about the emotional intelligence. We are born and brought up with emotions, lots of emotions. How are we going to control our emotions when it is coming for language? We need to control our tongue when we are running into a situation of anger and so many things. And finally, I would like to conclude. If you have an intention of serving the others, then sure that you are going to lead a lot, because service mind is the one major mind that will sometimes toil you, and it brings a lot of sacrifice, but at the same time you have the happiness, and that will create a lot of path for your success. So with this, I'll come to an end of the presentation. Thank you very much for the organizers for providing me an opportunity to present my thoughts on soft skills. And thank you very much for the participants for your patient participation. Thank you once and all. If time permits, the organizer give me time, then I can answer one or two questions, or else we'll move forward to the to listening to the next person's presentation. Yes. Hello? Yes. Ramya Krishnan, tell me. Yeah, Jay. Jay Priya, you have to unmute.
Hello. Is it allowed to talk or ask any question?
Yeah, I think I don't know, like the time permits, and if the organizers agree to have some clarification over the question, you can ask. I think like you can go ahead with one question, sir.
Okay. Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Sir, indeed, your session was very engaging, excellent presentation, and I would say it was really informative. First of all, I would like to thank you for your presentation, and I'm the part. It's really kind of a privilege. Like I was very happy listening that we have fear. I would call it fear. That is, am I good at speech? Am I good at writing? Am I good at presentation? Am I good at so many things, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, when we develop or when we talk, we have these things in our mind whether I should go ahead or whether I should not go ahead. Consciously, we stop ourselves. So
Yeah.
this is some kind of trauma. This is some kind of fear of communication skill, I would say. And you have elaborated it very nicely. My question is here, sir. That is, when we explore, different regions, like you're talking from Tamil Nadu, I'm talking from Maharashtra, Mumbai, and then when we talk each other, we have language influence of our mother tongue, like mother tongue influence in our speech. And
Exactly.
yeah, generally what happens, we are sometimes criticized, or we don't understand each other, like what kind of word he being a particular efficient professor is uttering, like whether it is accepted, whether it is not accepted, whether it is understood, whether it is Indian English or it is Englishes. What? Okay. So my question is, sir, like how we can overcome these barriers from the communication. If my question is relevant, then only your answer, sir. Actually, your topic is soft skills, and I was really happy listening. Adaptability, communication. There are so many skills. I understand, but if you could focus a little bit on my, this question, like it's really important in the context of India, I guess, Indian English, I guess.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, sir. Thank you for your good words. I'm so honored to receive such a kind of feedback on my presentation. I don't expect that, but I like. But anyway, the question that you have raised is relevant for or like people like us. We are living in India. And again, the mother tongue impact is creating a lots of problem in our pronunciation, and the other people to receive us. Actually, the mother tongue influence create a problem or create a disparity of understanding between the people. And again, like that is where the lots of misunderstanding happens between people. From one state to other. So that is where, as English teacher, we would suggest to adopt the received pronunciation and received language kind of there are a few places, and it will be there in the initially will be facing problem. I also gave one other soft skill that are we able to work in a diverse place? Are we ready to make ourselves to mingle with the people of diverse diversity, right? So when you have the habit of inviting or mingling with the diverse condition, then you will be having an idea about the culture. Actually, there the cultural will not be a border, right? So whenever we are going to deal with other people, we will deal with them. We will understand them based on the culture they are from, and we will not discriminate the people. So this particular, I cannot explain in an extensive way, and it is a separate topic, and we need to have a lots of debate on this particular topic, mother's influence on a person's language, and again, and the chaos it is creating in what do you call abstracting the meaning making process between one person to other person. We need to have a separate discussion on it. But one suggestion as of now I will give, two suggestions as of now I will give is, number one is you have to think about the received pronunciation or the Indian English that we have. We have lots of Englishes. When you read the short story Mother Tongue, you get lots of ideas what kind of Englishes we have, even in the family itself, right? So the second point I will suggest is that diverse. Try to be adaptive in working and inculcating the notion of diversity in us, and we have to mingle with them also.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Actually, if I'm allowed to speak a bit more, that actually I had faced an interview in one of these schools, and by chance, when I was rejected because of my pronunciation had mother tongue influence. Like I was not calling out sage, SAGE properly. So
Yeah.
that was the mistake. Then when I asked that what was the reason that I got rejected, then
Yeah.
I got feedback that, sir, you have to work on your pronunciation. Then I said that what was the wrong, like actually. Then I was trying to locate my error. So I found that these certain words which we have a problem, and actually they are like context dialect oriented words, but
Yeah.
still we face in our society some institutions they don't accept, they follow a received pronunciation. Later on I understood, I worked on it, and yes, I
Yes.
got solved it. But yes, it's a problem of us in India. That's why I raised
Yeah.
this question. Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much. Your answer was absolutely satisfying. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Yes.
much for the question, and thank you very much for bringing the topic into the session. That's very nice. People will be aware of the mother tongue influence and they will work on. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we have a vote of thanks. Then we have another session. Please stay tuned.
Good morning to all. At the outset, I wish to submit my sincere thanks to
Excuse me. If you have any doubts, please come to chat box, because we are about to give a vote of thanks for our presenter. And if you have the doubts, you can type here, and we will send it to the resource persons, and he will answer through your mail. Sorry for inconvenience, because we have next meeting day. Thank you very much.
Good morning to all. At the outset, I wish to submit my sincere thanks to our college secretary who gave us permission to conduct such programs. I would like to present my thanks to our principal and vice principal who often encourages us to conduct such programs. I thank our HOD, T. Madhanayam sir, and the convener, Dr. M. Muruganandam sir. I offer my sincere thanks to all the staff members of our department. My heartfelt thanks are due to the resource person, Dr. Edwin Jivaraj, for having shared his resourcefulness. I find no proper words to express my indebtedness. Thank you, sir. I submit my sincere thanks to all the participants. Thank you, Ananda. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.